There's a moment every man knows, a moment where a simple question turns into something else entirely. Not an argument, not a confession, just a performance. You ask your partner one clear, direct question. You expect a clear, direct answer. But instead, the room changes. Her tone softens. Her eyes shift. Her words stretch into a careful story, crafted not to answer, but to avoid answering. Not because she's evil, not because she's planning something, but because this one question is the one answer she never wants to face. Today, I'm breaking down the psychology of avoidance through one couple, one moment, and one truth that changed everything. His name was Aram. Hers was Mira. 2 years together. Good chemistry, good memories, good enough communication to survive most storms, except one. Whenever Aram asked this question, Mira shut down. And the question wasn't dramatic. It wasn't about loyalty, trust, money, none of that. It was simple. Why didn't you tell me this earlier? That's it. 7 words, no accusation, no anger, just curiosity. But for Mira, this question wasn't simple. It was dangerous. Because telling the truth meant confronting something she didn't want to admit, not to him and not even to herself. So she did what she always did. She turned the answer into a maze. The avoidance begins. Aram asked calmly, "Why didn't you tell me?" Mira's shoulders tensed. She looked away. And instead of answering, she started building a story. "Okay, listen, everything was happening so fast, and I didn't want to stress you, and honestly, the whole day was already—" A 5-minute explanation, 0 seconds of clarity. She added details that didn't matter. She brought up people who weren't involved. She shifted timelines mid-sentence. Aram wasn't confused by accident. He was confused by design. It wasn't manipulation, it was fear. Fear of confronting the real reason. Because the truth, the actual truth, would expose a flaw she didn't want visible. So instead of admitting she forgot, or she panicked, or she didn't want to disappoint him, she tried to stretch a soft blanket of words over a sharp corner of reality, where the conflict really started. Aram wasn't angry. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't attacking. He just wanted to understand. Because relationships don't fall apart from mistakes. They fall apart from the stories we create to cover them. And Mira's stories, they weren't lies. They were shields. Shields she'd built a long time before Aram ever entered her life. Shields built from childhood criticism, old relationships, and a lifetime of believing that telling the truth leads to punishment. To her, honesty wasn't a conversation. Honesty was a threat. So she performed. The breaking point. After another long explanation, Aram finally stopped her gently and said, "Mira, I'm not asking for all this. I'm just asking for you." Silence. And for the first time, her performance cracked. Because those words hit the part of her that wasn't trying to escape, but was trying to be loved. She sat down, eyes softer, breathing steady. "Because I was scared," she whispered. Not scared of him, scared of disappointing someone who trusted her. And that was the truth she'd been running from. A truth so small, yet so heavy. The real lesson. People think avoidance is deception. Sometimes it is, but more often, avoidance is protection. Mira wasn't protecting a secret. She was protecting her fear of failure, her fear of judgment, her fear of being seen as imperfect. And Aram wasn't angry at the truth. He was hurt by the detour. Because when the person you love won't give you a straight answer, it feels like they don't trust you with the real version of themselves. But here's the twist. She did trust him, just not more than she feared consequences. And that's the battle inside avoidant people. Love against fear. Truth against shame. The turning point. Aram didn't lecture her. He didn't guilt her. He didn't say, "You always do this." He simply said, "If you're scared, tell me you're scared. If you forgot, tell me